All right, let's turn back to those across-the-board tariffs and how they're going to directly impact your wallet. Economists already warning that the move will have a negative effect on American businesses, including home construction, furniture. The National Association of Home Builders issuing a warning on that, saying overall Canadian lumber tariffs will rise nearly 40%. That's eventually harming housing affordability. With that, let's bring in the president and chief executive officer for the National Association of Home Builders, James Tobin. James, thank you so much for being with us. More than 70% of imports of two essential home building materials come from Canada and Mexico. Can you walk us through what they are and just how much they are used in the home building process?
Sure. First off, it's about sawmill production. It's about lumber, obviously cutting timber both from U.S. forest and Canadian forest, all combined, bring us the lumber that we need to build homes, whether it's framing or sheathing. It's a critical component to home construction. And then there's gypsum, which makes up your wallboard, your drywall. That's another huge component in home construction. Between those two, you're talking about 70% of the costs associated with those two products come directly from Canada and Mexico.
Well, here's a statement from the chairman of your organization, Carl Harris. He said, quote, on President Trump's first day in office, he issued an executive order directing departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief by pursuing actions to lower the cost of housing and then increase housing supply. This move to raise tariffs by 25% on Canadian and Mexican goods will have the opposite effect. Can you walk us through how a 25% tariff on softwood lumber turns into an overhaul rise of nearly 40%? How does the math work on that?
Sure. You have to remember, President Trump ran on big issues during the campaign. He ran on tariffs, he ran on immigration, but he also ran on housing affordability and more importantly, building more housing to combat the affordability crisis we have in this country. When we look at lumber in particular, Canada is our #1 trading partner when it comes to lumber. About 30% of our lumber used in home building comes from Canada. There's currently about a 15% tariff already on Canadian lumber. When you add on this new 25% tariff, now we're looking at a 40% price increase. And there's even chance that over the summer, as we move into the building, fully into the building season, additional costs may go up. We could look at 50 or 55% to the cost of any stick of lumber coming into this country from Canada. So it's going to have a significant impact on home construction. In fact, we just saw today that futures for lumber at their highest point since the election. So the volatility is already starting to take place in that market.
Ready. And you once said that your organization's members were feeling, quote, cautious optimism about the president's background and that he would follow through on its deregulation, other developer-friendly policy promises. Do you still feel the same about the president?
Well, the president said that there is going to be some short-term pain when it comes to the tariffs, perhaps, and I think we're starting to see that. But we're also taking the long-term view as well. While we continue to engage with the administration about the impacts these tariffs are going to have on home construction, we're also looking to see what's coming next. There's a large tax bill that the president will move through Congress. We're also looking at that deregulatory aspect where we could see a lowering of some of the regulatory burdens that will help reduce the cost on housing as well. So we need to kind of pace ourselves. We're in week 3 of the Trump administration. Again, this is hopefully a short-term blip, but we're also going to wait and see how the whole package turns out over the course of the next several months.
Tobin, thank you so much.